Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing well. This is Andrew Palustre, and I'm going to go over the lesson that we have for digital citizenship that I chose personally that I think was great. It is called Chatting and Red Flags. Let me open up the slideshow so you can see it. Okay, so as I was saying, the lesson that I chose was Chatting and Red Flags. Why did I decide to specifically choose this lesson, and what is it intended for? Like, what grade, what target audience am I looking for to direct this towards? Okay, so this is basically a PowerPoint on digital citizenship on the topic of relationships and communication. So anything that has to do with relationships and communications online. This was what this lesson was organized for, and it is intended for ninth graders. For me, my personal opinion, why did I choose to do this one specifically? Because I think that ninth graders, especially in the age that they're in, around 14 and 15, that they come into high school, they're considered a little bit more, adulting pretty much. So I decided to choose this because I think at this age, many students and many just teenagers in general go through a trial of fire, especially since they're starting to grow up, they're entering into a more technology-driven world, and basically they're using social media on a daily basis. Now, is it my place to say how much we monitor it? Not necessarily, but we know that this is going on. And this is important because even though digital citizenship is very broad and it goes over different things like media privacy, how much you monitor social media, how to use it responsibly, this is a very concerning topic that for me, I'm not only choosing it for students, but I'm also choosing it for adults. In my opinion, I think this will greatly target adults as well. So let's go over a couple of things that was actually covered in this lesson related to digital citizenship. All right, so first off, the lecture started with an essential question of how can you tell when an online relationship is risky? This goes hand in hand with a lot of things, and you can ask the question yourself, basically, if you've been a person who has gone through something personal like this, or you know somebody that you need to disclose, but you can just basically think in your mind when you think about this essential question. So how can you tell when an online relationship is risky? How can you tell if that stranger that you're talking to online, which seems charming and has such a compelling, characteristic about them that you find attractive, how can you tell if that person is who that person says they are? So for example, talking to a cute boy or a cute girl online and not knowing that could be a completely different person. It could be an older gentleman or an older woman trying to fish you and trick you so they can use you for sexual manipulation or trafficking, which we're going to go into a little bit more that this PowerPoint has detailed. Okay, so the learning objectives that were targeted during this video, not video, PowerPoint presentation is to, first of all, identify the type of messages that might cause a red flag feeling for someone. So red flag is a big thing that we're going to discuss here, and use the feelings and options thinking routine to analyze and respond to the situation involving a red flag feeling. All right, let's go over it. So here we see that it kind of is like a little warm up before we go into the lesson, where students are asked to think about what you share through digital media. So anything that we can say as words, what words do you use in your text messages? What do you post on social media on platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, even dating websites, as a matter of fact, like Tinder or something like that, and WhatsApp as well. What are you also sending through there? What kind of pictures, what kind of images? A lot of things go hand in hand like that. Once we get the students to think about this, it will give them a little bit more of a clear sense of what we're talking about, a little bit more insight. So here it also says something about how much of the real you comes through. So sometimes we tend to embellish a little bit when we are talking to somebody online. If it's somebody that we recently just met, we will embellish a little bit about who we are. We might add some filters, and we might send a picture maybe 5 years ago or something like that where we looked better, so as a way to kind of catch that other person's attention. Okay, so this specific PowerPoint slide is something for students to take a moment to think about and then discuss it with a partner that's next to them in class, or they congregate in a group and they can talk about this a little bit more. Okay, So this video is a great resource, which I'm actually going to attach to the discussion board once I'm done recording this video as well. So this young lady, I'm not gonna spoil the video I'm not gonna spoil the video for you guys. I'm gonna attach it as a matter of fact so you guys can take a look at it, because I think it's an excellent resource as well. To kind of discuss basically this question where the PowerPoint has, it says how are chat messages in this video misleading. All right, grooming. Let's go and see. I noticed that this PowerPoint also has a lot of vocabulary. And this vocabulary is very important, very essential when it comes to this type of lecture. So grooming. So what basically is grooming? So it says here, when someone older uses chatting or messaging to befriend and manipulate a child or teenager in an in-person meeting for the purpose of sexual abuse or sex trafficking. Most people my age or a little younger, we won't use the word grooming necessarily, even though it is the correct and politically correct term to use in this case, but we don't use the word grooming. The word that we use necessarily more here is catfishing. You catfish somebody into thinking and believing that you're somebody that you're not. And what motive does this bring? So basically, so you can lure that person, you can catfish them and lure them pretty much as if you're fishing for a catfish. You're luring them to have a personal meeting, and then you find out that that person is not who you think they were. It's not that boy or that girl that you met online. And based on the video from the previous slide that I'm going to attach to the discussion forum, I want you guys to kind of notice the key ingredient of grooming in this video. And this is what we're sharing to the students in this specific lecture. Red flag feeling. What is red flag? So when something or someone happens that makes you feel uncomfortable, worried, sad, or anxious. So this more applies to kind of students that when they interact with these kind of people online, these strangers, and I'm also saying students because we're referring to a lecture here that we're doing for students, but this also happens to target adults. So this is for people that are a little bit more worried of what's going on, and immediately they shoot up a red flag and say, wait, give me a second. This doesn't sound right. This doesn't look right, and this doesn't feel right. So that's what the red flag feeling is. It's something that kind of makes you scared. It kind of makes you worried, and it will make you anxious or sad, because then you realize that that person that you're talking to on the surface, you get me, of the internet, is not that person who they say they are. So you have that kind of little small feeling inside you. All right, so feelings and options. So basically, this is something we can go over a little bit for students to have an idea of what how this connects to digital citizenship. So we have the identify section, we have the feel section, we have the imagine, and we have the say. So for the identify, we have the who are the different people involved in the scenario, what dilemma or challenge are they facing. We go over that, especially when we watch the videos here. Feel, what do you think each person in the dilemma is feeling? Why might this situation be hard or challenging for each of them? And you go through the imagine, and you go through the say. So you can go through all of that as well, and you can notice, so we can have this PowerPoint for students, and we can basically upload it as a sense of resource so they can have an idea of how to be a safe digital citizen, especially in this world, especially when they're around that age where they will chat and engage in a relationship with a lot of people online who they don't know who they really are. Okay, so this is based on a video, and on a little thing where it says, what should Shayna say? So we could, basically, this is a video we demonstrated in the whole lecture, and then students there can actually fill in the blanks, oh, what should Shayna say in regards to what's going on, what her situation was. And I want to end this by giving a little quote where it says, we know the power of words and actions. So this is great. We do know the power of words and actions if we're worried about what's going on, if we operate safely online, which I know that most of us are not doing per se. But it's important, guys, that it's not only about sharing, going through different websites that are inappropriate, might put a virus in your computer or anything like that. It's also has to do with us, and it starts with us on how we can communicate with others and how we can stay safe while we're communicating with others, and being aware of what we're doing, because maybe what we're doing can have very serious repercussions and someone can get hurt. So thank you guys so much for actually watching my presentation. That was my video review on this lesson. I think that this lesson was very, very effective and very engaging in regards to all of this. So thank you guys for watching. As I said before, I'm also going to attach you different videos that I watched before engaging in this video review. And so you guys can have an idea of what I meant and what I did through the little brief walkthrough. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great day.